Well, we find ourselves here again for another conversation. I'm excited about this one because it's years in the making. To be honest, we get to talk a little bit about the words on our shirt and hat today, which is something that we've been teasing out for anyone that's followed our content for probably the last maybe 3 to 6 months. We've been teasing it out and putting it. And I don't know about you, but I've been getting a lot of questions about like, what is the Access Network? So you want to tell people? Should we share?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I think it really started from the conversation around, what problem were we trying to solve with agents?
That's
right?
always your favorite question.
This is, what problem are we trying to solve?
Yep.
And I think a lot of agents get to a certain level of production and they feel stuck. They don't feel like there's any more for them. Okay, go sell another house. Is that really the only opportunity?
Yep.
And I think some of the opportunities that could be available to them, you have to be part of an organization that has enough mass to be able to attract those opportunities for them to be involved with. Meaning they can't go get them on their own.
Right.
Right.
And I think that's like, I want to kind of talk about this in layers and really bring people behind the curtain of what you were thinking and then what we were thinking together as we kind of walked out this journey. One of the things that I think has been very clear for anyone who's been in your world for a long time is that you wake up every single day asking yourself, like, how can you create more opportunities for people?
Right.
Right. And I've experienced that and I've adopted that as that same mentality. Like, how do we go find the next like amazing opportunity for real estate agents? Let's go back to like 2019, if we could, to the conversation that you had with Gary around some of the industry changes that I think, whether we knew it or not, like were some of the things that would actually play into how we were able to grow and get to this point. So like take everyone back into that conversation with Gary.
Yeah, it was July of 2019. I flew to Austin, spent the afternoon with Gary, and we really were kind of whiteboarding out the, Arizona, what it looked like. And if you think about it, when it comes to opportunities, is there more opportunity in a larger organization or a smaller organization?
Larger, for sure.
Of course. And so what we found when we looked around Metro Phoenix, as an example, is a lot of smaller offices that wouldn't necessarily attract the talent necessary to create bigger offices that were big enough then to attract other partners that were really world-class in their own industry that we could be partnering with. So really it was kind of like, let's think about it. If we could restructure Metro Phoenix, how would we do it? And so it's no different than, so for us, we looked up after that meeting with Gary and realizing, and he probably said it to me, and that was, it's a lot easier to attract talent to a 600 or 700 agent office. And it's a lot easier to provide more opportunity for them than it is when you're 150 or 200. So it really caused me to start thinking, and I asked him, well, why couldn't I treat expansion like I have with an agent? Why couldn't I treat market centers the same way? He said, well, I think you can. That's really where our journey began.
Well, and unbeknownst to you, this is July 2019. I had been in Keller Williams for a couple of years, and I was operating in a state that was very different than Metro Phoenix. In fact, it's such a small market that Gary, at whatever point, had awarded the entire state to this group of operators. But what I think is fascinating is that I was operating in a world where this had kind of already started to happen, but it had happened by necessity because the unit count and the size of the market just wasn't as, it wasn't the same as a big metro like Phoenix. But I was looking for a different opportunity. And so we meet just a month later in August of 2019 at Mega Camp. And I remember sitting there at the restaurant we were at and we were talking. And after we got through,
the niceties.
Me learning more about you and the small talk and you learning about me, we both started talking about like business and Maine. And I think light bulbs for both of us started to go off that, wow, interesting. Like there might be some overlap in how we think. And I also with this, I remember I got out of the insurance business because I saw what you saw in the real estate industry, I saw in the insurance business. And for me, I was in my 20s, and I saw all of these corporate insurance companies buying back all of these little agencies and basically then either giving them to the biggest agencies or the biggest agents for them to run, or just pulling them back altogether. And I kind of sat there and I go, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to buy an agency and retire from this business.
Right.
And so this just what I was seeing in the business world was starting to just float around in my head and ugh. And it just so happened that then I fell into your world and I go, wow, an operator who's thinking and seeing the same things business-wise that I thought I was seeing. And man, I see how this business could be run across an entire state. Yeah, why don't we go do that? That sounds like a lot of fun.
Sounds like a lot of work, right?
Sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
No one knows that better than you do. But we start to, and we've shared this before. I mean, we go on this journey of the last 5.5 years of gaining territory and mass, and it's like that snowball effect where just as the snowball rolls, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Take us into the mindset that you had over the last few years, just with that growth, and how did you always keep front and center this idea that this is what was going to provide the biggest opportunities possible?
100%. And, getting here was a lot harder and took a lot longer than we thought it would. But initially it was once we bought four more offices. So we ended up with 6 offices. And then we really had to take a deep dive, just like with expansion. You have to look at, well, what foundation was it built on? And they were
Sand.
Right. and they were built differently. Some were more country clubbish.
Yep.
Some were very production based. Some, so they were all different. Getting them all in alignment, sharing the vision with where we wanted to go, and them wanting to go with us took some time. Because I think there have been people that had come in and out of leadership that didn't stay very long or maybe didn't accomplish the vision. And so I think they were skeptical.
Yeah.
Agents, I'm skeptical sometimes. So I think that's natural and normal. And of course, my bigger goal was could we create so much opportunity that agents could actually be at our market center for free. And I know that sounds weird, but it really isn't. And because most top agents leave because they get to a point in their careers where it's boring, mundane, it's the same thing every day, and that makes them a lot of money. But they're looking up and saying, I'm an entrepreneur. What else can I do?
There's got to be something more.
There's got to be something more.
Yeah.
And rather than them going out and trying to build these businesses themselves, and some of them it would not be possible because there's just not enough scale, we thought, well, what if we could build it for them and allow them to just join them? Kind of, if you think about it, kind of like Vanguard, total stock market account where somebody built it, you just need to plug into it.
Yep.
You're going to make money.
They already put all the ingredients together.
Of course.
You just direct your funds this way, and we'll put that money to work for you.
Exactly. And it was kind of similar. And so in building these businesses that they've been able to be partnering in, it also, and I think about it, it's not just businesses. When we say the word access, and you say the word opportunity, to me, they're ubiquitous, meaning, what do you want access to? Because chances are, whatever it is, we have enough relationships to make that happen, even if it's a one-off.
Yep.
And I've seen that happen so many times. Maybe you want to meet someone. Maybe you want to be partnered with, maybe you want to get into Gary Keller's mastermind. Maybe you want to meet John Maxwell. I'm using examples that have actually happened, right? And so the
things that are opportunities that may not be available if you have 100 relationships in a brokerage. But when you have 1,000, you have a greater likelihood of getting those opportunities, right?
So it's not just businesses, but it's wealth opportunities. It's because every single opportunity has rules around it. And I don't know, but sometimes I don't want to go learn all the rules. I just want to plug into it.
Right.
I want the result.
Yep.
And so I think for us, it's figuring out, well, what are the top things that agents want access to that are really important to them? How do we plug them into those things? They may not want all of them. They may want parts of them. And I think that that's kind of what access is. What do you want access to that can become an asset for you?
And I think early on, I know early on, we did not, think about what was being built as a brand.
Right,
I know
we
that
didn't.
you saw it as, you've told us all, and you've forced me to think this way, like we're not silos, right?
Right.
And so I know that was always front and center, but we would be remiss to say like we were thinking of it as a brand. And I think that
Well, we thought of it as something bigger than ourselves, something that was just pull it into opportunities.
yeah.
But it really wasn't until this past year that we fleshed out the word access.
The word access.
Like we really worked at that hard.
And what defined us. And,
Right.
and I think part of that was also driven by what we saw in the industry as well, where the industry of yesterday was a brokerage standing alone, provided a real estate service to buyers and sellers. But very much, and it's not a secret, you can see that the industry has moved towards a full service platform approach to creating an end-to-end consumer experience that makes a more frictionless transaction, right? And that's all a bunch of like big words to basically say that the consumer of today wants the easy button. They want a professional by their side, and they want to know that we're doing our fiduciary duty for them as an agent. And so you see all of these things, Zillow acquisitions and Rocket Mortgage acquisitions and Redfin and Compass and Anywhere merging. They're all trying to do the same exact thing, which is to create this big end-to-end experience for the consumer. And I believe that as this became more and more clear and evident, it was, how do we go and do the same thing, keeping our agent at the center of it all? Because
Right.
at the end of the day, like, I know Gary says this, I feel like you might adopt this too. Like, I feel like at the end of the day, like the gravestone, the headstone, Gary says, will say realtor.
Right.
And that's how you think.
It's true. That's all. I think like an agent all the time. That's how I think.
And I think it's one of the ways that, like, things that sets us apart too, and how we think is that, like, I believe we are firmly committed to the agent at the center of the transaction, the agent being the thing that drives all
Everything.
these opportunities that are around us. And so then it really has become our job to, let's go find best in class opportunities that we can bring to the agent that we know is the one that makes these businesses go round. And so,
But here's the beautiful thing. The outcome of all of that is that the consumer gets a better product too.
you're right.
They get better service. They get better products from the businesses that we're involved in. So while the agent is at the center, in the flywheel, the actual consumer ends up with a better experience and a better product.
Right.
So it's really a beautiful thing
Yeah, it's a win-win all around.
all around.
So we haven't stated it like in one sentence, and I'm going to try, and then you can correct me. What is the Access Network? The Access Network is a real estate services company that creates vertical opportunities for real estate agents to scale their business and grow their wealth. What would you add to that?
And their influence. So the bigger the businesses get, typically the more influence that you have as well, which then just exacerbates, expands that business. So it also creates more influence. More influence attracts more people, and the flywheel just goes round and round. So I just add the word influence to that.
And I think we have different verticals, right? And so at the Access Network, we now have 2 brokerage brands that we operate. We have an insurance business that we operate. Mm-hmm. We have title and escrow services across the whole state that we operate. And we have a warranty business now as well. And we're just...
And mortgage.
And mortgage. Yes, I knew I was forgetting something. And we just continue to add these things. And what I love is that, back to your point, that all an agent has to do is plug in. Like, we are operating these businesses so that they can go do what they're best at, which is working with buyers and sellers.
Right.
like keep winning at that and simply align and let's build an asset together, right? And so like it's almost just like rewarding alignment. And that's a word that you've used a lot. Why is alignment so important?
Because, when you're in alignment, things seem frictionless and easy, simple. And whether it's the agent or the consumer, that's what everybody wants. And when you're out of alignment, it really pulls at the fabric of the relationship. So being in alignment, it means what we ultimately want, it also is what they want. It's like we're all moving together. And when they do access our network and are involved in these different verticals, they end up making more money. And then the fun part for me is how do I help them learn how to keep it and build wealth with it? Those are two things that I'm super passionate about too, because in this business, you can end up paying a lot of money in taxes or not.
Yep.
But you have to know the rules of the game. And so the other piece to that is once you've accumulated additional wealth, us helping you put that wealth to work for you in such a way that now you have wealth that you wake up and wealth is being created for you by these investments that you've been able to make, not only in the businesses, but then in real estate or perhaps other businesses.
So how does it work, as an agent in our world? Like, let's talk about that a little bit. Like, how does an agent access the opportunity, if you will?
How do they do it? I think the number one thing is become a great real estate agent and be productive.
Yeah.
That's the criteria, right?
That's totally step one. And the way that we work that out and model that is providing a world-class coaching and training program with accountability for our agents. It's funny, I sit with so many agents in recruiting conversations, whether they're new or super experienced. And agents are always fixated on like the next season, right? Like if you sit with a new agent, why are you getting in this business? Well, I want to build passive income through real estate. Well, passive income doesn't happen until you're good at building active income, right? And so I do think step one in our world is coming in and plugging into our coaching and training systems with accountability and becoming a great real estate agent.
Exactly.
What does the next step look like?
Well, I think, naturally in a right progression, the next step was, okay, well, how do I take this money and deploy it into investments? But that's not what happens. And what we find, and let's be honest, is that agents start making a lot of money and they don't know how to manage it, how to manage their taxes, et cetera. And they end up getting themselves in trouble. And I've found that, I think we have found in our offices, a lot of the top agents haven't learned how to use the rules of the game to keep more of their money, and they end up in tax trouble. And
the way I describe that, Kristan, is you plug in and become a great salesperson, then you've got to really start to become a good business person. You've got to understand what a P&L is, what the rules of taxes are. Are you putting the right team together around you for your business? And ultimately, part of that is how do I scale up and grow a team? Whether that's a big sales team or it's a team of administrative professionals around you that leverages your time. And so I do think that's the next logical path.
It is.
And then...
And leverage in your personal life too.
Right.
That can allow you to do more production if you choose to, or build more wealth if you choose to. So I think the leverage piece really comes in at all levels of your life. How do you leverage other things as well? 100%. Once you learn leverage, it applies to other things.
It does apply to other things. So I think a lot of brokerages actually do those first couple steps well. And I think one of the things that sets us apart at the Access Network is that we, after having an agent, helping an agent get to that place, the question becomes, all right, what is the next opportunity? Because now they're getting to that place where, all right, do I just keep doing the same thing? Scratch that entrepreneurial itch. Like, let me try and go operate another business. And I take my eye off the ball and like the business drops down. And I think this is really where our value proposition starts to shine. We kind of started to make a stair-step approach to the opportunities that became available to our associates, right? And one that we worked on for a long time was in the insurance business, right? And so we launched Arizona Home and Auto a little over a year ago. And the thing that was beautiful is it became the next stop on this opportunity path that was coming together, where an agent who maybe wasn't quite a mega agent yet, but they have a respectable, healthy business and some passive income to invest, they could start to participate with us as an investor.
Here's the most beautiful thing I think about the insurance piece is because it really provides three legs to this whole access thing. Number one, the consumer is going to get a great opportunity, 5-star review, great company to cover their home and auto at a price that's lower than anywhere in the industry because we have access to that. So that's number one. Number two, the agent gets to have that same access for their own family. And most of them have found that they've been able to lower their costs as well. So great for the client, great for the agent personally. But now you mean to tell me it gets better than that? Yes. So we've already returned more than, in the first year, 128% of their investment to them, which continues to grow each year, that now they can use that to go out and make future investments. So it's one of the pieces of access that really provides, I call it the three-stool effect. It has all three pieces, three pillars to it that made it such a no-brainer for us to go after that piece next.
Yeah. And we had basically 70 agents across our network who chose to step into that and align with us. And it goes back to this idea of like, we're not asking you, we don't want you to do anything other than what you're good at.
Right.
Go work with buyers. And when they're required to have insurance,
which every one of them are,
all you have to do is refer it over, right? And so it again fits right in alignment with like we just want to give you the easy button to plug into opportunities. And so we have 70 agents that participate with us. And I think it started to really, that's where I saw our agents across the entire state, I think really start to adopt this mentality of, okay, if we can win together this way, like how else can we win together? And we're not going to we don't have to go into every single, vertical opportunity. But again, there's this approach that as you grow and as you show up as a good partner and as we continue to stay in alignment, you get these additional things added to your business portfolio.
And why wouldn't you want that? You don't have to go out and build it.
Right. Some people like headaches, but
yeah. And we took a long time vetting that piece of the business, and so I just think it represents one of the pieces of the business that touches every piece of the flywheel. Definitely. Touches you personally, touches our clients, and it touches your ability to grow wealth.
And so we're finally at this place where I feel like the flywheel is coming full circle.
Spinning.
Yeah, it's spinning and it's coming full circle. The first several years was scale up so we can attract best-in-class partners. Now let's pay attention to everything that we've broken and work on the plumbing and make sure that foundation is super strong. Let's return value to our associates. Let's go start attracting these partners. And now it's just like, let's grow and run and build these businesses together.
I feel like we're finally at the fun stage.
It has been pretty fun lately.
Yeah.
And I think what's awesome is every time we like walk around with like an Access shirt or hat, like some agent goes, when am I getting my stuff?
Right.
Like when are you telling us more about this?
Yes.
I want to talk to you for just a minute as a mega agent. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm sitting with you and I'm describing our network and what we've built. And you're sitting there as a mega agent, super successful, hundreds of listings a year. What's going through your head, and why would you choose to join the Access Network?
I think what would go through my head first, and I was thinking as you were saying it to me, what's going through my head, and as a mega agent, what goes through my head right away is, oh, thank God I don't have to build it. Truly.
I think if you've built enough things,
yeah,
you start to realize like, I don't always need to be the one building it.
Right. And so I just think to myself, thank God I don't have to build it. And it's already a piece of the business that has to happen anyway. Mortgage has to happen. Title has to happen. Home warranty doesn't have to, but it should. Insurance has to happen. So this is already pieces of the business that I'm involved with every day on every transaction. You mean to tell me I just have to participate and support the business and I can get part of the profit, to me, it's like, what's the catch, right?
Right.
But there really is no catch, and that's been our intention all along, is to build something that's not only great for the agent, but great for the consumer as well. And when that happens, super alignment.
When both of those people get to win, which I believe they can in our world, then everything grows. Everything grows. So if you are out there and you're listening to this and you want to learn more about the Access Network, or you're just curious about what joining would mean for your business, then I encourage you to reach out to us either through the link in this podcast, the show notes, or through our contact forms on our website. And one of our business consultants will be happy to get in touch with you and share more about what we're building at the Access Network. If you're an agent in our world already, I want to encourage you to learn more about the Access Network Revenue Share Program, which is our newest value add to you as an associate who is rewarded on the actual revenue that you help create inside of our network. If you want to learn how to build substantial passive wealth through this program and as part of our Access Network, please reach out today. Is there anything else that you want to add, Kristan?
No, I just say that that we're not only happy to talk to them, but we're excited because most people don't understand that those opportunities are available for them too. And I'm so glad you said that.
Exactly.
Everyone gets to participate.
The Access Network, we're turning alignment into an asset for our agents and into a better experience for the consumer. And we're going to just keep doing that.
And for our employees.
That as well. So I'm excited.
Me too.
Who knows what's next?